Do you have questions about what's the best approach to your diet, exercise, to your lifestyle, how to manage stress, how to manage your mindset? Well, if you are, welcome to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast. Today we have our listener Q&A, where Coach Amanda and I answer all of your questions. So if you're ready, listen up and lean in as we elevate your mind.
Hello.
Q&A. We haven't done one of these in a while.
I know. That's why I put it. I was like, oh, we should probably do that because we've got a list of questions that we have not answered.
Yeah. If you're interested to cutting right to the question and answer part of this podcast, check out the show notes below for timestamps of when we start that. But for now, I have to talk about something very sad.
Okay.
So for listeners, if you don't follow me on social media, I had to make the tough decision to put my dog, Brooklyn, down. Today is Monday. That happened this past Wednesday. So it's been 5 days. Let me tell you guys, this is the worst grief I've ever experienced. Like I told you yesterday, it feels like a piece of my soul, literally not my heart, my fucking soul is missing. I don't know how parents lose their children, like actual mothers lose their actual babies, because this is fucking terrible. And I've just tried to feel. I've read a couple books that help me connect to the spiritual side of her. And like, you were right. Oh, I meant to send this to you. It was like, why does the death of one dog hurt you more than others? It's because you've had lifetimes and lifetimes with that dog. And I know that's true because it almost feels like I told Mark this, or maybe I told you this yesterday. Like there's a disconnect of like, what did you just do?
I changed my camera because I realized I was still on that. And I'll talk about why I'm wearing this shirt.
Okay. What does it say?
I don't even know. It's Michael's 60 rule.
Oh, okay. 60 rule. Okay.
Back to your dog. Fuck me.
Yeah, back to my sad thing. No, it feels like a disconnect because I'm physically and spiritually here, but she's not.
Right.
And it sucks. Like it sucks. I tried. I can't sleep. I wake up and I'm up. At first it was kind of crazy because she was having a hard time getting comfortable or even staying asleep at night. She would just get so uncomfortable because she was in pain, and that's common for her disorder, that she would get up and she would probably turn like 10 to 20 times, which is not common.
Yeah.
And so then we'd have to like push her hips down, but also make sure she would tend to sit on Harlem because she wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So I woke up like literally the times that she would do that. Then I just started waking up and like staying, like yesterday it was 2:30, today was 3. And I'm just up. And so I sat on the couch just quietly and cried, and I don't have a great appetite. It's just, I'm going through it. I appreciate everyone's really loving messages. I know she's had a great life, and I'm grateful for that, and trying to find the gratitude in our connection and knowing that we will be together again. But it doesn't help. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't help. Like I know she had a great life. Like, why wouldn't she? But I just miss her so much, and I'm trying to make her sister as comfortable as possible because she misses her too. So 2 books I read were, if anyone's going through this, they were very helpful, but you definitely have to have an open mind because they're a spiritual type of book. Now I'm looking at all my pictures of her. The first one is Signs from Pets in the Afterlife, Identifying Messages from Pets in Heaven. And the other one is The Amazing Afterlife of Animals. And they definitely, I read, you guys, maybe my dog had to pass so I could read a fucking book from cover to cover. But I read both of them.
Yeah, the universe is
in
like,
2
she's
days.
a dumbass. Here, read some books.
Mhm. Yeah, I read both of them. I read the second one I said in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it was a 150-page book.
Well, sometimes when you
So,
find a book that like is hitting with where you are in life, you're just devour it.
yeah, I wish I could do that with the books like that I mean, I love it's usually books to like educate myself,
Uh-huh.
but anyways, we are on a quiet schedule for the next 2 weeks. My husband and I think we're gonna go take Harlem to Huntington Beach tonight.
Oh,
In my I can't sleepness, I found this really cool dog. All Kipton hotels are dog friendly.
yeah. We stayed at Kimpton.
Yeah, so in Huntington.
Yeah.
Oh, the shoreline.
Yes.
Oh, that's where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
Did you like
That's a
it?
great. Yeah, love that hotel. It's adorable, and it's right by
Okay,
the beach. And then there's this burrito place.
Love
Like
burritos.
not towards the main street. It's behind it. It's like because we could see it from our room when we stayed there. They have great breakfast burritos. They're huge. Yeah. And then what else? They have a dog beach. I know that. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's and I guess they did a pop-up bar that's like this
Oh.
80s inspired ski bar.
Yes.
So it's got like all these fun
Cute.
drinks and like
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah, we love Huntington. And then if you want like a good fancy dinner, there's Blue Gold. They have
Okay.
really good dinner. Or there's the one, it's on the beach and it looks very touristy where you're like, I don't want to go there, but they actually have really good food.
Yeah. Well, the one that's connected to the hotel has like Christmas,
Oh, good.
like they're open on
Oh,
Christmas.
good.
Yeah. So my cousin lives there, so I was gonna
I'm
maybe try to
jealous.
see her. Ira lives there, actually.
Ira lives there?
In Long Beach, which isn't
Oh.
too far. Because
Uh-uh.
the reason why this all went down is that I got this advertisement for like it wasn't even advertisement, it was someone. It was like one of those like for yous from someone else's page.
Yeah.
Or it's like Marty's Dog Beach and Bar in Long Beach. And so I was like, oh, let's look at Long Beach. And then the Huntington Hotel came up and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is so cute. So
We love
and they have the little ski bar thing and they have Christmas dinner. We wanted to go see Adrienne. I'm a mess. Like, not a mess. Like, I had the hardest time after you left. Like, my heart was so heavy. It's so weird because you would think after you left, oh, she's gonna be fine.
No, because I was a
not fine.
distraction for an hour and a half.
That's true.
Mhm.
And so it was like, Adrienne, she lost her mom last
Right.
holiday season. Like, I don't want to be this like glooming cloud. Even though she said, don't worry about me. Like,
Yeah.
what do you need? Like, I think we can just go, yeah, have a nice time and relax and just be with our other girl.
Yeah.
Dude, we went to brunch and I freaked out. And maybe you guys can comment on, I want to hear your comments on messages from your pets that you, after they pass, like little things. So they talk about, in these books, they talk about like finding pennies randomly, finding feathers randomly, things that we've already talked about, like butterflies, hummingbirds, dragonflies, clouds, even like people are like, I literally felt my dog on my bed. Like, I'm waiting for that moment. Please, please, Brookie. I have heard her bark.
Oh, like phantom cries.
Yeah. I've heard her
Sometimes I
bark.
feel like I hear Olivia cry and she's not.
Oh, I'm sure. It's her little spirit. I've heard the first day, Harlem and I were literally in bed all day. Whenever I'd close my eyes, I had this bright light in just this eye, like very bright light, and my entire body went calm. It was crazy, man. Anywho, sorry to be a downer to everyone, but I wanted you guys, because you're our people. Like, you follow our lives. Like, it's like we're here for the birth of your baby and unfortunately the death of mine. And that's how this podcast, that's how life is, especially when you get to create relationships with people, that maybe you've never met like the two of us, but you
Mhm.
know our lives, you know our partners, you know our children, whether they're furry or real, you know us. And so we have to go through these hard times together too. But I appreciate again all of your loving thoughts. And, you know, I'm going to take this next 2 weeks to just be with my little stinky girl. So,
And Mark.
yeah, Mark's been great. He's been great. Just letting me cry.
Yeah.
He gets it. So that's that. How's everything on your end? Talk about your boobs.
I was
Sound like
gonna say
you're
I was gonna say
having a
Michael
hard
let me
time.
cry last night.
Oh, good.
I know, because I like was just like, oh my God. Yeah. So I was like feeding her and I was like touching my boob and I was like, oh my God, no. And it was like a mass. And I was like, oh shit. So I have a clogged duct, which sucks.
Where's the
Um,
duct? What is the duct?
so ducts are like essentially channels or like straws that provide your milk through your
Yeah,
nipple. And
got it.
so sometimes they get clogged, which I have now. And so not to be confused with my left nipple pain that was happening
Oh,
earlier. Yeah.
not the
So
same.
no, it wasn't the same. It's different.
Oh,
So I know. So I was like, oh sweet. Yeah. So on Friday I had a really bad nipple pain, like burning, hurts. And so the lactation consultant came over Saturday morning. She's like, honestly, it looks good. It could have just been like she latched weird and then it compounded. And then she had the craniofacial therapy on Friday too. And so sometimes that fucks with like their latching and just how they are because it's like a lot of body work. And so like it was better on Saturday, but it's still there. And then last night I was feeling myself while I was feeding her. I was like, oh great, I have a clogged duct. And so it was super painful last night. So I just put the heating pad on it all night, like would feed her, then put the heating pad, hopefully go to sleep. And then I was like looking up, what do you do? Massage, don't massage. There's so many things. And so actually after this episode, I need, because Brooke, our doula, is feeding her. So I need to go feed her. Usually I would just wait, but it's like you don't want your boobs to get full.
Full,
And you
yeah.
just keep feeding and feeding and pumping and pumping and feeding. But then you have to be careful because you don't want to pump like so much that you create an oversupply because then that becomes an issue.
Yeah.
So I'm like, great. So I'm just going to be pumping in between our sessions.
All
And I know. So it just sucks. So I can do, there's like this boob gymnastics.
Oh.
I know. So you just basically rotate them. So I'm doing that. And
rotating. We're
yeah.
rotating our boobs.
Yes. So, and then I need to like, I messaged my lactation consultant and then I posted on Instagram. And again, like the difference of opinions that you should do is wild. Like when I asked about her baby acne, it was like breast milk. Just put breast milk on it. I was like,
Oh.
yeah. And so I was like, okay, that's simple. But for the,
I saw her little cheeks. So I was like,
I
oh, sweet
know.
girl.
I know. It's so sad because it's kind of on her head too. But it's
Yeah.
like, it's just a hormone release. So,
Yeah.
and you don't want to pop them, obviously.
No.
Yeah.
She's like, I have acne scars.
Yeah, I don't want that. So she's just becoming more of a baby instead of a newborn too. And so like I slept like shit the last couple of nights. And then I've got this and then my nipple is hurting and then I was just tired. And yesterday I tried to take a nap, but of course she was like not going to take a nap. And so again, these are very like simple problems, but it just all kind of like came at me, you know, at the end of the night. And it was just like, God. And Michael's like, you're doing great. You're okay. Like, maybe just take a nap tomorrow. And I'm like, I know.
Well,
He's trying.
Yeah, they're trying.
trying.
Well, it's hard, like with us, because obviously, like she was Mark's shadow.
Yeah.
You know,
well, because didn't
like,
she sit under his desk when he worked? Yeah.
All day long.
Yeah.
And like anytime he got up, she got up. Like she woke up with him. They went on the couch together. You know, like I mean, I've obviously had her longer than we've been together, but like at the end there, like they were two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he had obviously had his emotions and cried and I'll do an episode on like grief and all of that later. But yeah. But I'm also like worried that he's kind of holding things in
Oh, for you.
Yeah. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Um, for the dog parents out there, after you lost a dog, when you had a second
Oh.
dog, did you become hyper vigilant as shit? I am like, I need a full workup of her. I need to know she's healthy. I need to all these little fatty pads. I need to test them, make sure they're not cancer. If I leave her alone, I'm looking at the cameras all day. Like it's psychotic. Well, I ended up buying this training like deal on Instagram
Uh-huh.
for Harlem because if we do get another dog, we need to kick some of her bad habits.
Oh.
And they have dog psychologists to like
Uh-huh.
ask questions. So I'd ask them about that and they sent me a pretty thorough email. Also, guys, don't think I'm crazy, but I am talking to an animal connector on Friday that is a medium for pets.
That's
And I don't give a shit what anyone says. My dad goes, really? I go, listen, I don't care.
I
You
would.
talk
Why
to a
not?
priest. I talk to an I'm like,
Yeah.
I
I
just
go into past lives. Like we all do our
yeah,
thing. Michael
yeah.
suppresses his emotions. Yeah.
I will buy everything that will keep me connected to my animal. Like they do tattoos with your dog's ashes, even though it's really not good to do that. But I
Yeah.
was like, I contemplated it, and I'm like, it's probably not good for you, like to have this like ashes that have been in like a cremator thing with other dogs' ashes that you don't know what they had. Like,
Are you
I
still
saw
gonna
it
get
on
that
Selling
tattoo?
Sunset. What?
Are you still gonna get that tattoo?
Yes, but I think
Good.
I'm just gonna get her by herself.
Oh.
And then instead of both of their
Yeah.
faces, I think I posted a picture today. I also need, if anyone's listening, I need to hire someone to do a painting for me. That picture I showed you.
Oh. Do I know somebody that paints?
One of my client, Nicole, paints.
I think I do know. I'll have to think because I bet
There's
you
a
I do know somebody that
there's
paints.
a painting. There's some paintings in our vet's office that are really cool. They almost look like dots. It's
You
just like a
know,
bunch of different colored dots,
I
and
can
it
ask
makes
my cousin because they got they were very heartbroken when their dog Camper died.
yeah,
And so they got a painting done of her looking out like over the ocean. Or no, not the ocean, like a lake, because she was well, I don't know what kind of dog she was. Let me ask her and
yeah,
see who did their painting.
yeah. I want mine to be a little bit more like fun, not like a
Yeah.
still picture, but like some sort of creative, colorful thing because that's who she was. But yeah, so need 3 questions.
Okay.
Did you get any signs from your pets?
Uh-huh.
Because in these books, all these people are like, oh yeah. I'd wake up and see the number 11, and that's how old my dog was when she died. I'd see 11, 11 everywhere, 11, 11, 11, 11. I would find, like I said, pennies or feathers. I would have doves sit on my finger, like crazy shit. Yeah. And it's very interesting. I interrupt this episode to bring you our December promo, and this is our introductory offer on the Mindset Method Movement, our revamped group coaching program. This program is unlike any other group coaching program out on the market and is going to be priced so competitively because we want everyone to take advantage of this. In our program, you will begin working from the inside out on your relationship with your body, food, and self-worth through the Mindset Method curriculum. In my Mindset of Matter app, every Monday, you will receive a reflection that will help you work through why you struggle with control over food, why your food noise is so loud, why you hate the image you see in the mirror. Then from there, you get to take the information that you've learned and bring it to one of 2 coaching calls per week. Yes, per week. And for those who sign up now, you will be working directly with me. So you get to process all of that stuff with yours truly. You'll also get access to our on-demand training program that includes gym, at-home, time crunch, body weight, and core workouts that change every single month and all build on each other to basically create the body of your dreams. You will get custom nutrition coaching from one of my expert coaches, depending on your specific needs, whether that's autoimmune issues, peri-post menopause, prenatal or postnatal, or general nutrition. We have someone here at the Mindset That Matter for you. And last but not least, you will have access to an amazing community of like-minded individuals who are looking to do something different in regards to changing their relationship with themselves mentally and physically. And for this introductory offer, we are offering our group coaching program for $275 a month with a 30-day cancellation notice. This is literally the same price that other coaching programs charge just for nutrition coaching. And if you sign up in December, you will be moved right into our Winter Wellness Challenge. You're going to jump right in, and we're going to do that at no additional cost. So you can start working with us today at no additional costs. So if you're ready to change your relationship with yourself through your mindset, through your movement, through your nutrition, check out the show notes below for more information. Now, back to the show. All right, well, enough about our sorrows. I'm sure you have questions about yourselves. And so welcome to Q&A. We are going to answer your questions. We have 4 of our followers/listeners who had questions about a variety of things. So let's get into it. First one is, I've been working out for about a month, I just noticed this past week my appetite is 0. I find it so hard to be hungry and eat. I don't ever get hungry up until 2 p.m. I do drink a lot of water, just never hungry. Anyone else experience this? So here's a few things I want to know is, where are we in our cycle?
Oh,
She said about a month, she could be in the first part of our cycle where we're not as hungry, right? In general, we have more energy. We're not as hungry. So that's what I want to know. But then also, I'm not hungry until 2 p.m. So I have a client who very much restricted their food. And he recently was on Mind Pump talking about how, since I've increased his calories and decreased his movement, that he's actually hungrier and hungrier. And the way I explained it to him, I go, well, because you're not eating, your body's conserving energy, like turning off little motors in your body. They're just turning off these little motors of engines that we don't need, we don't need the hair growth, the nail growth, things like that. When we're not getting enough energy, we need to conserve that energy for more important things in the body. And so when your body starts to realize that it's going to get more energy in, it has the energy to turn on those engines. Those engines being turned on cause you to feel hungrier because you're burning more energy, right? So the more energy you give, the more energy you burn. As long as we're doing that in a balanced way, we're not exceeding the energy in versus the energy out. In this case, usually it's the exact opposite. It's a very drastic opposite, where we are not even getting close to the energy in versus the energy out. And so our body has to adapt to that. And that's why people that adaptation, because you're not feeding yourself enough, your body will respond and you won't be hungry. Actually, you won't feel hungry on a little bit of calories, but that doesn't mean that's a good thing. You need to feed yourself and feed yourself consistently throughout the day. What would you say to this person?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, I thought before, I was like, have you told yourself you're not hungry for so long that your body essentially says, this is how I equate it to my clients. You've told yourself that you're not hungry for so long that your body says, fine, she's not going to listen to me. I'm going to stop telling her that I'm hungry then. Because there's no point in using that energy to say like, hey, I'm freaking hungry if you're not going to respond. So I don't like the drink a lot of water, I think is great. I would wonder, like, again, maybe the other question is, maybe her life is from like 12 p.m. till 1 a.m. You know what I mean? So like maybe she doesn't necessarily wake up at like 7 a.m. to start the day. So if she has a later life, or maybe like she's a shift worker or something like that, then we could say, oh, well, then that's maybe normal too. Like some people are just not hungry right when they wake up. It takes a little bit. Like you don't eat breakfast right away. And so that's what I would also wonder, is kind of like what the lifestyle is too. And so
I also wonder if
she's a good one.
Yeah, I also wonder though too, maybe she needs to give us more information here. And just to let you guys know, we follow up on a lot of these things to like get more info, but we just get these like small, because we just ask on like our Facebook group and our Instagram. I'd also want to know, like, did she switch from like processed foods to like whole foods? Because that definitely can make you feel fuller longer. So it doesn't sound like she's eating breakfast. So I would think if she was eating like a high protein, higher fat breakfast, she would feel more satiated and maybe not be as hungry as if she was just eating like processed foods. So that's that would be, so the answer for you is this. I want you to try, even if it's starting your day off with like one of these Fairlife shakes that I have here. I told you guys I don't have much of an appetite right now. So like these have been me just trying to get calories in. Try that and maybe a yogurt, right? Something small, something that's not too filling. Give yourself, eat every 2 to 3 hours or whatever, for you, because it sounds like you're a bit disconnected from your body. You may have to actually eat on a schedule until your body starts to trust you again. Then once you can start, turning on those engines, you'll find that you will get hungrier. And then through listening to your body, through providing your body what it needs, you will create a more like balanced hunger and fullness schedule. So that would be my suggestion to you. All right. You want to do the next one?
Yes. Next one.
What are you reading?
Is,
I know you're
I was
reading.
looking at the responses to see what Laura said to her, because Laura responded to this one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Laura said
What
this.
are you reading?
Yeah, I was looking. I was like, "What did we say?" And so Laura actually asked for more information. Then she said, "Sounds like it could be a suppressed appetite. Do you mind sharing XYZ things?"
Good.
And she hadn't responded. So the next one is best protein bars, low in sugar and not crazy high in calories. Also not a meal replacement, but also doesn't taste like crap. So no offense, but you're asking for a lot from a protein bar.
Correct.
It's like, this is like a pie in the sky or pigs flying. So best protein bars, low in sugar. That's going to be challenging because they're filled with a lot of additives and they are meant to be tasteful, which means they're going to have some sweeteners in them. It may not specifically say sugar, but when you read the ingredients, it's going to have sugar. Not crazy high in calories. I have yet to find a protein bar that is low in calories that would satiate me, that doesn't have a bunch of sugar. So for example, there's like the whole natural bars. I forget what they're called, but it's like they have the list of the ingredients on the front.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Bars.
Yes. So those are going to have a bunch of sugar because you have to think, even when they're in like this whole natural thing, they need a binding agent, which is either going to be honey or dates usually. And those are sugary things that are carbs, and they tend to be higher carbs. So that's going to be, there's your sugar, high in calories. So even like those ones are lower in calories, but again, they're not very filling. Most protein bars are at least, I would say, like 180 bare minimum calories. Would you agree? Yeah. Up to, 400 calories, depending on the brand. I buy the one bars and they're usually about 220 calories, 240 calories. And so it's really, really challenging to pack that much nutrients, we'll say, or ingredients and make it a low calorie thing. So think of like, let's go for like a fast food item. And then if you cook it at home, the fast food item is going to have a lot more calories because they have to pack it with preservatives and just flavors and whatnot. Whereas at home, you don't have to do all of that. So it's going to make a difference of if I can have the whole foods versus this packaged food.
Yeah.
Then the other part of it. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I like the Fit Crunch bars. They're 190 calories and 3 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
They taste really good. And like looking at the ingredients, contains less than 2% of like glucose syrup.
Oh, there you go.
But then it has like sunflower oil, soybean oil, sucralose. So there's our sugar, another sugar. I'm looking for any other sugars, but it doesn't seem like they have a ton of sugar. Obviously, it's only 3% here. So those are some that I do enjoy as like a snack.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a meal replacement for sure.
Well, and she's asked not a meal replacement. So I appreciate that because that tells me we're not using it as a meal replacement, which is good because oftentimes that'll be one of the questions. Or like I've had clients come in using protein bars as a meal replacement because they don't have time to have a food. And I'm like, well, you're only getting 220 calories. Your meal should probably at least be 400 calories, give or take. So tastes like crap. Most of them taste pretty sweet. So I think it just depends on the brand and the flavors that they have. I wonder what.
Yeah. One thing you could do instead, guys, like overnight oats is a great thing that you can prep. And eat very quickly. It's very filling. It's going to give you, you can put whatever you want in it. You're going to get a good amount of protein. You're going to get a good amount of, high fiber oats, as well as whatever sweet thing you want to put in it. You could do natural sugar. So overnight oats are a great alternative to have as a snack. Some people just eat them as their meal. So that would be what I would have instead. Or if you can go on Pinterest, there's a lot of recipes for like little protein balls, protein cookies, protein bars you can make yourself. Those are, again, as Amanda said, you can control what's in them and know that even if you do put some honey in it or maple syrup or whatever that is, like you can control how much of that is, because like you said, sometimes they're just super sweet,
Right.
and it doesn't taste great. So I would suggest, again, I suggest the Fit Crunch. We like those. We have them in our house. Whenever we travel, we bring them with us.
Yes.
Or just making your own, overnight oats or protein balls or bars.
Yeah, that's how. Ideally, you're having the protein bar like sparingly, like when you travel. Because even I'm looking at the one bars, and it's like you look at the ingredients, you're like, I'm not really sure what any of these mean. So my question would be like, what are we using the bar for too?
Mhm.
And if they're like, oh, I just like it as a snack every day, then I want to say like, is there something else that we can substitute it with if we're having it every day, and use it more sparingly? But I mean, some people don't mind having a protein bar every day. And that's something as like a coach, you just go, okay, like, here's your trade-offs, here's your pros, cons. Let's just make sure that the protein bar has protein in it and it's not like a carb bar with less protein.
Right. Yeah. Cause like this one has more protein than anything else.
Good.
Well, actually 24% of it comes from protein. So, whereas 10% comes from fats.
Yeah. For the one bar, 40% comes from protein, and then carbs is 9%, and then fat is 8%.
Yeah. So good.
Okay.
Good. All right. Perfect. Hopefully that's helpful. Next question. Do you guys eat less or the same when you have a day off from exercising? Great question. Now, I'm going to assume this person is not a advanced athlete lifter, right? Because with some clients, we can definitely carb cycle and do things to help support them. Or we have clients who maybe run, they're training for a marathon, or I have clients that do volleyball that, there's like multiple games at night. So we will actually carb cycle, and they will eat more carbohydrates around that day of performing, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to assume that's not who this person is. Can we do that?
Yep.
Or do we want to talk about both?
No, because I think that carb cycling gets too advanced. And if you're interested in that, you're probably working with a coach, or you have the knowledge of how to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay. So when we calculate your calories, we take into consideration your basal metabolic rate, which is very basic: age, height, current weight, and we create a minimum of what amount of calories you need. Then we take your movement or total daily energy expenditure. So usually with the calculators you'll see online, it is how many times a day you have planned exercise. And then if the calculator is good, like I like the Precision Nutrition Calculator because it asks about planned exercise and then your movement throughout the day. So like if you're a teacher versus like a restaurant server versus a construction worker, like it has different calculators. So you take that, and each of those has the multiplier. So you take your BMR, so what your body needs at rest, take the amount of exercise you do consistently over a week's time, consistently. I'm going to touch back on that. And then we get your total daily energy expenditure, meaning what you'll eat every day for the week. Coming back to consistently, I had a gal reach out asking me to do her macros. And she goes, I plan on working out 4 to 5 times a week. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I plan on working out 4 to 5 times a week too. And I'm an advanced lifter, and I haven't touched a barbell since Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing now? right? Because you're going to plan, if I was to give her the macros for the 4 to 5 times a week that she's planning on doing, I'm probably going to put her in a surplus because we know her ass is not going to do 4 to 5 when she's doing nothing right now, right? So I said, what are you doing right now? That's the macros I'm going to give you. If you show me consistently over time that you can hit 2 to 3, I'm going to give you new macros for that. If you show me over time you consistently hit 4 to 5, I will give you new macros for that. But what I'm trying to explain is that when we do the total daily energy expenditure, that's every single day, 7 days a week. I interrupt this episode to invite you to our absolutely free webinar, Food and Body Reset for 2025. This webinar will be on December 30th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm basically going to walk you through a mini version of the mindset method where you can walk away understanding the underlying mental health, psychological struggles that you have, those patterns that keep you from achieving whatever goals you want to set out for yourself, but also walk you through how we create our norms. And I'm going to give away some free gifts at the end that's going to make this process easier for you. This will also be featured on our podcast. So you get to be on the podcast if you do attend. I'd love for our listeners, for your friends, family, anyone who you feel would benefit from this opportunity to receive free coaching from me to attend. So check out the show notes below for the link where you can sign up. Again, this is completely free. So that again is December 30th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now back to the show.
Yeah. So I would say for most people, the problem is not like, to me, this question, I would say, are we consistently eating enough every day? Because we don't need to worry about, do I need to eat less or more for when I'm exercising too? Because naturally throughout the week, you're going to eat more and less just in general. So like, for example, I know, and back in the day, I used to eat more on Friday nights because we would go out for dinner. And so I just know that's more calorically dense. So therefore, I'm going to eat less throughout the week if I'm looking for a maintenance to kind of help make that average happen. So this, to me, do you guys eat less or the same when you're having an off day from exercising? No, because also exercise is not an effective way to say like weight loss, right?
Correct.
So I'm not going to eat more for exercise. That way exercise cancels out the eating more. It doesn't work that way.
Well, that's what like MyFitnessPal fucks everyone up, thinking when they have their exercise calories like added back.
Oh yeah.
People think like, oh, well, I didn't exercise today. Should I add back?
No.
Or I'm sorry, not eat as much. And like, no, you eat the same. Like it's calculated that way. I do not know. Whoever's in charge of MyFitnessPal, turn that shit off. You are teaching people. Number one, your calculators fucking suck. You either are 1,200 or 1,500 calories. You keep teaching people that they need to eat back calories when they work out. They do not. You are making people overweight by doing that. So you're right. Like you need to just eat consistently. You need to not think of it as, oh, well, I worked out, so I have all of this room. Oh, especially because you're probably looking at your Apple Watch and being like, oh, well, but can I eat this 500 calories back because I worked out today? No. You can't. Damn it. Anything else?
No, I was going to say,
don't do that.
Please
Last
don't.
one.
Yes. So can someone help me with what would be best to tighten my skin? I've lost 40 pounds. Congratulations. And need to tighten my stomach, legs, and arms. I have access to a gym, but if can do at home, that would be great. Either way, she feels like she needs to do something.
Yeah. So I think I answered this person on the Facebook. Okay. PSA, y'all. And I don't know this person, but 40 pounds, I've seen clients lose 40 pounds the right way and not have loose skin at all. What?
Well, her calories are between 1,000 and 1,300 daily.
Correct.
And that's what a doctor said.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah.
She lost so much fucking muscle in that 40 pounds that she now has loose skin and looks like, as I would say, a less shapely version of herself. I have had hundreds of clients lose 40 pounds and look fucking awesome, tight, shapely, because A, we're not feeding ourselves enough. B, probably not getting enough protein intake, because if you're only eating 1,000 to 1,300 calories, I doubt that you're hitting your protein intake to maintain your muscle. And I'm guessing you don't have the fucking energy to strength train. And if you are strength training, you're probably really not focusing on progressive overload because you don't have the energy to push your body into that stress state. So now you've lost 40 pounds. Yay, the scale says I'm 40 pounds lighter, but you look like shit.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a picture. Yeah. So to me, this is like, because the doctors that have her on that, I'm like, well, who are the doctors? You know,
Doctors are idiots when it comes to
This
nutrition.
is what-
Sorry
yeah,
to all
I
our
need-
doctors we work with.
yes, they have less than like, I think it's like an hour or something of that of nutrition counseling and education in their degree. And again, like the doctor, they need to know how to do like treat your cancer appropriately, right?
Yeah.
They have
Right.
their skills, and then I would hope that they outsource those and come from a group approach, like a collaborative approach on treatment. But you know, more often than not, they don't. So to me, if she wants to, like you're saying, if she wants to tone and tighten, which is a big thing, then we need to actually, which is going to be very, very, very hard, is rebuild and get the calories up. Because even at this 1,100, 1,300 calories, whether you want to tighten or not, that's not sustainable by any means. And I would actually be curious if she's actually eating that amount, or because like to me, I'm like, that is so low. There's got to be, you're going to start seeing other effects internally, like hormone wise, right? Or energy wise, or sleep wise, hair wise, nail, skin growth wise. So the only answer is you have to eat more.
Yeah. The answer is you have to eat more, get your body up to a place where we can start rebuilding that muscle that you lost, get very uncomfortable for, I don't know, 6 months to a year. And that doesn't mean you'll gain the weight back per se, right?
Great.
You can do this in a way where you can maintain the weight loss. You might gain a little bit back, obviously, because we're trying to build, but you can always cut again, but not in the way you cut before, because again, you have lost a significant amount of muscle. The fact that we have seen people lose 40 pounds and they are tight, they are shapely, they are all the things, is because we do it the right way.
So let's answer, if she was to tighten stomach, legs, and arms with the gym or at home, what would be the answer to that?
We need to strength train and compound movements, focusing on progressive overload. We need to be hitting our goal body weight in grams of protein per day. And like you said, we need to be getting back, reversing up to maintenance.
And I would say, like, for more specific exercises for those areas, core work for the stomach, even your compound lifts for the stomach, legs, so squats, deadlifts are probably your two best, right? Arms, we could do lateral raises, overhead press, chest press. And then I would just, rows are a great one too. And stick with those.
Yeah. So your compound movements. You can get a great home workout. You can get a great workout at home. You just, have to get creative. Like I actually had one of my, like I leaned out during COVID when the gyms were closed, and I just got really creative, like with my bands. I did have like this mini barbell that I used. So I would put the bands over the door and then put the barbell loop in the bands and use it like as a lat pull down, or I do it from the bottom and use it as like a deadlift or like a row or a upright row. So you just have to get creative. This is where, again, coaching comes in, where, look, let us help you. Like, we know the answers to your problems. And stop asking doctors for nutrition and exercise advice. Stop. And I love all of you, but we work with how many people in the medical field?
Quite a bit.
I'm going to tell a story real quick about a person who did not work with us. He was, I think, 30 something, mid 30s, already type 2 diabetic, but like in a small body because he didn't eat all day long during his entire shift, and then would like gorge when he got home.
Yeah.
He told me all of these things he was doing and how all this research supported it. And I'm like, well, if research supports it, then how are you 35 X amount of weight and type 2 diabetic? Like, your body is out of whack. And I think there was some hormonal issues too. He was a pretty prestigious doctor in where he lived. He lives in another country. And I'm just like, bro, you're fucking yourself up. Like, you need to, and I told him what he needed to do. And obviously he's not working with us, but it's mind boggling how they'll be like, oh, well, this worked for me, so it's going to work for you. No,
Yeah.
that's not how it works.
I once worked with just to compound that too. I once worked with I think she's a naturopath or physician, we'll say, medical provider. And she would binge eat, or she would eat in secret. Right. And it was like, okay, well, how do you coach other people through this when you have shame of that for yourself?
Right. It's they compartmentalize a lot of times. And again, for me, as someone who was in a position where I was compartmentalizing what was going on with me back in the day when I had not gone through my healing process, like it's even more shameful because you're like giving other people this advice. Right. You're pretending to be this expert, but you're sitting there like in your own misery. It's no bueno. But we love all of our physicians and our medical professionals. But in all reality, and just to validate them, we go into these positions because we want to help people, but most of the time it's because we've learned that our position in life is to help people. Yeah. And therefore we become people pleasers, which means we don't deal with our own emotions, which means that we create all these fucked up rules in our heads about what we should and should not be doing to ourselves and our bodies and food and blah, blah, blah. All the things you guys have learned. Anything else?
No.
All right, perfect. Well, if you guys want any questions answered, you can come to our Facebook page, which is the Women's Weight Loss and Workout Support Group. For those of you listening who are in that group, we are doing a mass exodus from that group. We are literally deleting thousands of people from that group. Yeah,
we are.
I have a VA working on it.
Why?
Cleaning house, baby.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know, this group I took over 3 years ago?
Yeah, 3, I would say. And
it's there to be supportive, for us to answer questions, for us to be involved. Like, we're constantly trying to give. But people are just in there just to be in there. So we're just kind of cleaning house. If you haven't been interacting, you're not gonna be in the group. Yeah. And Cha, who is Ira's friend, is the one who's having to delete everyone. So sorry, Cha. So it's called the Women's Weight Loss and Support Group. You can come in there. We're always answering questions. Every single day, a coach is in there answering questions. We also have the link below that you can ask questions in as well. If you would like to follow us, we also post on our social medias. We now have reminders in my calendar and your calendar to do that on every Sunday, at the Mindset of Matter, at Mindset of Matter Coaching and fitbymanda.az. Don't forget, we have the Mindset Method Movement group coaching program launching in January 2025. This is going to give you an opportunity to get all of your questions answered, plus work the Mindset Method Movement and all the things I talk about in our ad. We also will be having when will this post?
28th.
In 2 days. In 2 days, I am doing a webinar where you can come on and I'm going to teach you all about food and body reset so that you can prepare yourself in 2025 using the mindset method to, change whatever it is you want to change. That is a webinar you can attend live. The link will be in the show notes as well. But other than that, if you had any question about anything else, just remember this one answer.
What you say in the mind.
Be in the mirror. Goodbye.